Crown the full story of Sibylla of Jurrasilam. 1. Early life and childhood, 1159–1170s. Sibylla was born in 1159 in the Crusader Kingdom of Jurrasilam. She was the daughter of King Amalric I of Jurrasilam and Agnes of Courtenay. Her brother, Baldwin IV, was born a few years later. He would later become known as the Leper King. Their parents' marriage was annulled for political reasons, but the Pope ruled that the children, Sibylla and Baldwin, were legitimate. This made Sibylla a royal princess of Jurrasilam, and her bloodline would always connect her to the throne. Backhand index pointing right. Growing up, Sibylla was raised in the royal court of Jurrasilam, where politics, wars, and religion constantly shaped her future. 2. Her brother Baldwin becomes king, 1174. In 1174, Sibylla's father, Amalric I, died. Her brother, Baldwin IV, though still very young and suffering from leprosy, became king of Jurrasilam. Because Baldwin was sick and unlikely to have heirs, Sibylla was recognized as the main heir to the throne. This made her the most sought-after woman in the Crusader states. Powerful lords across Europe wanted to marry her and gain the crown of Jurrasilam. 3. First marriage, 1176. Sibylla's first arranged marriage was to William of Montferrat, a noble from northern Italy. The marriage took place in 1176, and she quickly became pregnant. Tragically, William died only a year later, 1177, leaving her a widow at around 17 years old. She gave birth to a son, Baldwin V, who became her hope for the future succession of Jurrasilam. 4. Growing political tensions, 1177–1185. As Baldwin IV's health declined, everyone knew Sibylla would play a central role in ruling. Different factions in the Crusader kingdom tried to control her marriage. Some wanted her to marry a powerful Western prince, to bring reinforcements. Others wanted her to marry within the Crusader nobility. In 1180, fearing a coup, Baldwin IV hurriedly married Sibylla to Guy of Lusignan, a knight from France. Many nobles disliked Guy, calling him weak and arrogant, but Sibylla remained deeply loyal to him. 5. Queen-in-waiting, 1185–1186. Baldwin IV finally died in 1185, leaving the throne to Sibylla's young son, Baldwin V, her child by William of Montferrat. Baldwin V was just a boy, so regents ruled in his name. Sadly, the boy king died in 1186, only 1 year later. This left Sibylla as the rightful heir to the throne of Jurrasilam. 6. Sibylla becomes queen, 1186. After Baldwin V's death, nobles gathered in Jurrasilam to decide the future. Some nobles wanted to give the crown to Sibylla's half-sister, Isabella, instead of Sibylla, because they hated Guy. But Sibylla was clever. She agreed to set aside Guy if she could be crowned queen. After being crowned queen of Jurrasilam, she shocked everyone by placing the crown on Guy's head, making him king of Jurrasilam. This act showed her loyalty to her husband and secured their joint rule. 7. The Great Crisis, Saladin's invasion, 1187. Sibylla and Guy's rule quickly faced disaster. Saladin, who had united Egypt and Syria, launched a massive invasion of the Crusader states. Guy led the Crusader army to face Saladin at the Battle of An, July 1187. The Crusaders were crushed. King Guy was captured. Most of the knights and nobles were killed or enslaved. Saladin took almost the entire kingdom, leaving only a few coastal cities. Jerusalem's fall. In October 1187, Saladin marched to Jerusalem itself. With Guy in captivity, the city was defended by Balian of Ibelin. After a brief siege, Balian negotiated surrender. Saladin entered the Holy City on October 2, 1187, showing mercy compared to the Crusaders' massacre of 1099. Sibylla lost her capital, Jerusalem was gone. 8. The Third Crusade and her last years, 1187–1190. After Saladin's conquest, Sibylla followed her captured husband, who was eventually released by Saladin. Together, Sibylla and Guy joined the forces besieging Acre, 1189, during the Third Crusade. The siege dragged on, and conditions were brutal: disease, famine, and constant fighting. In 1190, tragedy struck. Sibylla and her 2 young daughters died of plague during the siege. She was only about 30 years old. With her death, her half-sister Isabella became the key royal heiress of Jerusalem. Legacy of Sibylla. Sibylla was remembered as a loyal wife and a tragic queen. Despite opposition, she always supported her husband Guy, even when it cost her the throne and kingdom. Her reign marked the fall of Jerusalem to Saladin, one of the greatest turning points in Crusader history. Her story inspired later chronicles, novels, and even films, like Kingdom of Heaven, though the movie changes her story heavily. White heavy checkmark in short. Sibylla grew up as a royal princess in Jerusalem, became queen after her brother Baldwin IV's death, married Guy of Lusignan, ruled during Saladin's conquest, and died tragically during the Third Crusade at Acre in 1190.